right, everyone, get ready because today we're taking a deep dive into the world of technology and innovation.
Buckle up.
We're going to be looking at how stuff like digital devices, social media, and these big scientific breakthroughs are really shaping our lives. And maybe even give us some hints about what the future might look like.
Yeah.
Now, here's the interesting part, okay?
Okay.
The source material we're using today, it isn't your typical tech magazine or journal. It's actually, believe it or not, a script they use to help people prepare for this exam called the IELTS.
Oh, interesting.
Which tests English proficiency. So kind of wild, right?
Yeah, it might seem like a strange place to find insights about technology, but that's what makes this deep dive so interesting, don't you think?
Totally.
This script is focused on language, but it gives us this unique perspective on how the world views these advancements.
It's like we're getting a peek behind the curtain, right?
Exactly, like a global conversation, but it's hidden between the lines.
Oh. Okay, so let's start with those digital devices that we've all come to depend on, right? I mean, who doesn't have a smartphone these days?
Right.
Laptops, tablets, you name it. The script calls them revolutionary, especially when it comes to how we work and communicate these days.
Well, and it is pretty remarkable how much they've changed our lives, right?
Yeah.
The script really emphasizes how much they've boosted productivity. We can get information instantly, connect with people across the globe.
It's amazing, but there's also this phrase it uses. It calls technology a double-edged sword.
That's a powerful analogy, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm curious, what's the double-edged there?
Well, it acknowledges that there are potential downsides that come with all these advancements. Think about the term sedentary lifestyle, right? We're constantly connected, hunched over our screens, potentially sacrificing, physical activity and real-world interactions.
Yeah, it makes you think, has anyone listening ever noticed changes in their activity levels since getting, their latest gadget? I know I have.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. The convenience and the connectivity, it definitely comes with a price. And that's where critical thinking comes in, right? Weighing those benefits against the potential downsides.
Totally. And speaking of a double-edged sword, the script uses that exact same phrase when it talks about social media.
It does.
Which, talk about a game changer.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Social media has broken down geographical barriers, no doubt about it. We can connect with people instantly, share ideas all across the globe. It's pretty incredible.
It's wild. Something happens on the other side of the world, and boom, we know about it instantly.
Right. But that speed and reach, it also fuels the spread of misinformation too, doesn't it?
Oh, big time. It can be so hard to figure out what's true and what's not these days.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just misinformation, right? The script also brings up things like superficial relationships, the pressure to present this perfect image online.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And, the potential for things like cyberbullying.
Yeah, that's the dark side of it for sure.
It is. It's that other edge of the sword, right?
Right.
Social media, it can be a platform for connection, but it can also be a breeding ground for superficiality and curated personas.
So how do we, navigate all of this? It feels kind of overwhelming.
I think it boils down to conscious choices,
Okay.
Being aware of both the amazing potential and the very real risks, building those critical thinking skills, questioning what we see online, and really nurturing those meaningful connections, out in the real world.
Yeah, it makes you think about the impact on young people, growing up in this digital world. It's got to be a whole different experience.
Absolutely, yeah. They face a unique set of challenges and opportunities, that's for sure. Navigating a social landscape unlike anything previous generations have ever seen.
Okay, let's switch gears for a minute. Let's talk about those amazing scientific breakthroughs that are happening right now.
Okay.
This script mentions some pretty incredible advancements in fields like medicine and renewable energy.
It is an exciting time for those fields.
There's even a mention of robotic surgery, which, I don't know about you, but that sounds both futuristic and a little bit unsettling to me.
It does, doesn't it? The idea of robots performing these complex medical procedures, it's fascinating, but also kind of daunting.
So break it down for us. What exactly is robotic surgery?
Well, essentially, it involves using these robotic systems to assist surgeons during procedures.
Okay.
So picture this. A surgeon controlling these robotic arms with incredible precision, allowing for these minimally invasive surgeries.
Wow.
Faster recovery times.
That's incredible.
It is.
But what about the ethical considerations? Would you trust a robot to operate on you?
That's a really good question, and it's one that a lot of people are wrestling with, right?
Yeah.
As technology keeps advancing, we have to consider the ethical implications, right?
Right.
The potential risks, the level of trust that we place in these automated systems.
And what about the impact on, the medical profession itself?
Yeah, it's definitely an evolving landscape. Robotic surgery, it opens up all these exciting possibilities, but it also requires surgeons to adapt. They have to acquire new skills to work alongside these advanced technologies.
Right, right.
It's a whole new way of working.
The script also highlights these breakthroughs in renewable energy and really emphasizes their potential to tackle these big global challenges. Like, it's actually exciting to think about the possibilities for a more sustainable future.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
And that's where this IELTS script, even though it's focused on language learning, it actually reveals something really profound, I think.
Oh, interesting.
It's almost like a global wish list. It's highlighting these hopes and aspirations that are shared across different cultures.
It's like we all want the same things, right?
I think so, yeah. A healthier planet, more connected world, and technological advancements that actually improve our lives. That's the dream.
Yeah, it's a good dream. And that brings us to another big thing the script touches on.
Oh, yeah.
Automation.
The wave of the future, as they call it.
Right. But isn't there, a lot of concern about job displacement as automation becomes more common?
There is. And those concerns are totally valid.
Yeah.
The script acknowledges that automation may lead to job losses in certain sectors, but it also, opens doors to new opportunities.
Okay.
In fields like robotics, artificial intelligence.
So it's not about being afraid of the future. It's about understanding what's coming and preparing for it.
Exactly. And that's where education and adaptability becomes so crucial.
Absolutely.
We need to equip ourselves with the skills and knowledge to thrive in this constantly changing technological landscape.
It's almost like a call to action, right? Like, get ready, people.
I think it is. This script is urging us to be active participants in this whole technological revolution.
Not just sitting on the sidelines watching it happen.
Exactly. Be informed, be engaged, and be ready to embrace the challenges and the opportunities that are coming our way.
And that's what makes this deep dive so fascinating, right? We're not just looking at technology, we're looking at how it interacts with our lives, our values, our hopes for the future.
I totally agree. It's about the big picture,
And we're doing it all through the lens of this language learning script, which just shows you insightful perspectives can come from the most unexpected places.
Absolutely. It's a good reminder to stay curious, to be open to learning from all sorts of sources. You never know what gems you might find.
Speaking of uncovering gems, there's so much more to dig into in this script. But first, we need to take a quick break. We'll be right back to continue our deep dive into the world of technology and innovation. Don't go anywhere.
We'll be right back.
We're back and ready to keep going with this deep dive into tech and innovation. Before the break, we were talking about automation and, how it could affect the job market. It's definitely a hot topic these days, right?
Yeah, for sure. It comes up a lot. And it's not just about, losing jobs to robots. This script kind of hints at a bigger shift,
Oh, okay. Like what?
The types of skills that'll be in demand.
Ah, okay.
As automation starts doing more of those everyday tasks, those routine things, there's going to be this growing need for creativity and critical thinking.
Yeah.
Complex problem solving.
Yeah.
Those are things that are harder to program, those uniquely human abilities.
Right, right. So it's not just about learning how to code or build a robot. It's about developing those soft skills that can change and adapt as technology keeps advancing.
Exactly. The script seems to be emphasizing this idea of lifelong learning, always adapting, gaining new knowledge to stay ahead of the curve.
It's like the finish line is always moving, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It makes things interesting, that's for sure.
It can be a little overwhelming, though, too, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think if you can embrace that constant evolution, see it as a chance to grow instead of a threat.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. This script also dives into how technology's changed the way we communicate.
Oh, yeah.
Which is wild when you think about it, how it's impacted how we interact with each other, both personally and professionally.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's not even just about speed and efficiency, right?
Yeah.
It's about how technology has broadened our perspectives,
Yeah.
connected us with different cultures, different ideas.
Like now I can video chat with a friend across the world, and it's almost like they're right there in the room with me. Or I can read articles, research papers, all that from anywhere.
Exactly. But there's also a flip side to that, right?
Hmm?
Like sometimes technology can create these echo chambers.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
You only see information that agrees with your beliefs. And that can be dangerous.
It's like it's filtering out any opposing viewpoints. You just get stuck in this bubble.
Exactly. So critical thinking is more important than ever. You know, you got to be able to evaluate information, look at it from multiple angles.
Challenge your own assumptions. Be open to hearing things you might not agree with at first.
Yep. It's like that saying, don't believe everything you read on the internet.
So true. We have to be careful about what we're consuming, in terms of information.
And careful about how we're communicating, too.
Oh, right. Because so much of our communication now is through, like, texts and emails and social media.
Exactly. And it's so easy to misinterpret tone or intent in those mediums. Being mindful of our language, making sure our messages are clear and easy to understand.
So important. The script also talks about technology having the potential to bridge those cultural divides, which is kind of interesting, right?
It is. And it makes you think about the power of language to connect people, create understanding.
And the IELTS exam itself, it's a perfect example of that,
People from all over the world taking this test, trying to communicate effectively in this shared language. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like this global community, all these people connected by this desire to learn, connect, and bridge those gaps between cultures. And technology is a huge part of that.
Definitely. It's what makes it possible.
It's changed everything about how we learn languages, too. Think about it. Language learning apps, online courses, virtual classrooms.
Yeah, learning is so much more accessible now. It's incredible.
So we started this deep dive with an IELTS script, but we've really gone way beyond just learning a language, haven't we?
Yeah. We're exploring how technology affects everything. Our lives, our societies, our whole future. Really, it's a pretty big conversation.
And it's changing all the time, just like technology itself.
Exactly. What we know today could be completely different tomorrow. That's why staying curious, asking questions, being open to new ideas is so important.
So for our listeners out there, what can they take away from all this?
I think the biggest thing is that technology is a powerful tool. It can be used for good or bad. And it's up to us, all of us, to make sure we're using it wisely, ethically, and understanding how it can affect things.
It's not just a neutral thing, is it?
Nope. It reflects our values, our choices, how we see the future.
We can't just be passive, right? We have to be involved in shaping that future.
Exactly. Informed, engaged, and empowered to use technology in a way that benefits everyone, ourselves, our communities, the planet. That's the goal.
And that leads us to our final thought for today. This IELTS script might be about prepping for a language test, but it sparked this much bigger conversation about the impact of technology on our lives.
Right. It has. It's been fascinating.
And it's made us think about the ways technology connects us, but also how it can divide us, challenge us, inspire us. We've seen shared hopes and anxieties, dreams for the future, and things people are worried about.
Yeah, it's been a real exploration of the human experience in the digital age.
Mm.
And it leaves us with a sense of wonder about what's next,
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with a question to think about. What kind of future do you want, and how can technology help create that future? It's something to ponder. It really is something to think about. And it brings us right back to what makes this whole deep dive so interesting. This IELTS script, it's designed to test English skills.
Right.
But it's accidentally given us this amazing look into something so much bigger.
It has. It's
Right.
like we've tapped into this global conversation about technology.
Yeah.
One that goes beyond language, beyond borders. It's fascinating.
We've seen how this script shows those shared hopes for a healthier planet, powered by, advancements in renewable energy.
That's for sure.
And the anxieties about jobs disappearing as automation takes over. It's like we're all wrestling with these same questions no matter where we're from.
Exactly. And that's where, that critical thinking piece becomes so essential.
Right.
The script doesn't shy away from showing both sides of the coin. The good and the bad that can come with these advancements.
It's like it's encouraging us to really think about things,
It is.
Weigh the pros and cons, look at all the information we're bombarded with.
Right.
And then come to our own conclusions.
Be informed. Be engaged. It's almost like it's saying, don't just accept things at face value.
Yeah.
Dig deeper. Question your assumptions. Think critically about how technology is impacting your life, the world around you.
Yeah.
Don't just be a passive observer.
That's such a powerful message. Technology is a tool, right? And like any tool, it can be used for good or for, not so good things. It all depends on us, how we choose to use it.
It does. We have that responsibility to be thoughtful, to be ethical, to really understand how technology can affect things.
And to be informed, right?
Yes, absolutely.
We have to understand how these advancements actually work, the good they can do and the potential downsides. Knowledge is power, after all.
Knowledge is power.
Oh.
Couldn't agree more. And in today's world, things are changing so fast, right?
Yeah.
Staying informed and being able to adapt is more important than ever. What we know today, it might be old news tomorrow.
That's so true.
So we have to cultivate that mindset of constant learning. Embrace those challenges.
Be proactive, not reactive.
Exactly.
Shape the future we want instead of just passively going along with whatever happens. And that takes us right back to that question we asked our listeners earlier.
About what kind of future they want to see.
And how technology can help make that future a reality.
Big questions.
It's something that deserves, careful consideration. Thoughtful discussion and then action. Because at the end of the day, the future isn't just something that happens to us, right?
Right.
It's something we create through the choices we make, the things we do, and how we interact with the world around us.
Beautifully said. As we wrap up this deep dive into technology and innovation, we want to encourage everyone listening to keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep engaging in these important conversations that are shaping how we understand this ever-changing landscape.
It's through those conversations, those moments of reflection, that we can gain the insights and perspectives we need to navigate all the complexities of this digital age.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you never know, maybe those conversations will spark the next big innovation.
Yeah.
A future that's brighter, more equitable, and sustainable for everyone. Wouldn't that be something?
And on that hopeful note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Keep those minds curious and those conversations going. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.